Instagram numbers. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago, but that's a Spotify post, I believe. That's a Spotify post. Yeah. This is her post. Her post is this 12,000 comments. Like, you look at these numbers and they look so fucking insane that you're like, damn, these artists are so lit, right? Like, you even think about like say an artist like 6ix9ine. Like when 6ix9ine drops, like his Instagram numbers are out of this world. His YouTube numbers are out of this world, but his streams are not. Same with Ice Spice. When she drops, and that's why I said dropping an album doesn't help someone like her. Find a new gimmick for a new song. Every time she drops a song, there's like almost a new gimmick, right? When she was going at Lotto, you're not even a shit, you're not even a fart. That was that gimmick. This gimmick is, oh, he cheating on me, I'm doing him worse. You see her with Central C. That's the gimmick. It's gonna sell the song gonna go gold or platinum, right? But then when you see a full, like, they don't get to work this gimmick out because I still don't get this gimmick with her and Travis Scott. Travis Scott's hot, but this is not even Travis Scott's lane. So there's a,
oh shit, she turned off the spot.
Like, it would be good if there was a gimmick with this. Like, you know what I mean? Again, and maybe I'm saying like most of these artists are kind of gimmicky. Like there's a gimmick with it. And even though I love I rock with Sexy Red and like everything she got going on, but she drops music on a gimmicky way. Oh, whose baby is this? Then she's like, fuck my baby daddy. Then she does the whole thing with Chief Keef and then drop a song. She and Aiden, then it's Get It Sexy. She does the whole thing, put Drake's in. It's like, there's some gimmicks before these songs, but what it tells you is that they're selling a song. They're not selling a body of work, right? Like, there's few female artists. Let me not make it a female artist thing. It's a few artists in general that you're expecting a body of work from them, right? And I think at some point, at the bigger you get, we expect a body of work. Like, for example, say there's few exceptions, like a Doja Cat. She's very eclectic, but I do think she gives a body of work. The Ice Spices, the JTs, the Sexy Reds. I don't think. I think it's better off when they just give us singles because they give us the best of what would be on an album, rather than these artists. They're not giving us substance; they're just giving us fillers for an album. So you might as well just have them give you the single because the single is going to be the hottest ones out of the bunch. So for artists like these, I hope they just abolish this feeling like they have to give an album, or at least a label doesn't rewrite these deals, because when Ice Spice sells 20K, it breaks the brainwashing of the fan that she's so hot. Because what labels are really good at doing is creating brainwashing to fans to say this is the hot thing, and if you're not tuned in, it's FOMO. And whether they started by fake numbers or fake stories or fake relationship, eventually you buy in. And that's what I always tell you. Like, remember I was talking about the botting situation? The botting situation don't mean if somebody botted some views, it don't mean that 3 months later is going to be 90% botted. It's probably going to be 5% botted. The botted shit is just to get you brainwashed. Yo, this is hot. You're missing out if you ain't listening to it. So you know what you do? If everybody listen, let me go listen. You go listen. You might like it, or maybe you don't even really like it, but it's kind of like FOMO. So you're not playing it more and more. You're like, all right, fuck it. I'm a shit. If this is what everybody listen to, maybe I'm missing something why it ain't hot. So you keep playing it. Now you like it. So now they keep doing less and less bots. And then over a while, they've converted or brainwashed a bunch of people. Here's my thing. I think Ice Spice has done that. Like, bruv, even though I've said that, she's a lyrical genius with some of the shit. Bro, she broke out the gate with Munch. A fast rapping, kind of offbeat, watered down, very simplistic song. Like, there's no reason why Ice Spice needs to drop an album. She should be dropping singles, collabs. You know what I would have done? I would try to get her with Sexy Red and drop not an album, a 4-pack. A 4-pack of Twerkwind. Okay? That's how we would have done it. Let's just mix down a bunch of songs, something that's really an EP, 4 songs, and we're gonna work all 4 of those songs as singles. So again, I don't think her label did her any favors here. But it then makes me wonder, is Ice Spice number about to be called? Is Ice Spice done? Let me explain why. Anytime you start thinking about the music industry, there's bigger things at play. And for some of y'all Nicki Minaj fans, this is where you come into, I'm a professor. Professor Academius is actually lecturing right now. You're gonna take a seat. I know you want to relate everything to Nicki Minaj, but take a seat and put that cone on your head because you're stupid as fuck. I'm gonna break down what's going on in the game right now, and I'm gonna tell you why I have a theory about Ice Spice and why she might be in trouble. She better heed my warning or people close to her. Listen to my theory. Ice Spice first came in the game and was distributed on her first song called Munch through WorldStar. Okay, this is music talk. And if you don't have music knowledge, if you watch my stream over time, you probably got a little music knowledge or maybe come from the music industry. If it's too late to give you a crash course, so you're gonna have to either get what I'm saying or not get what I'm saying. So she came in the game independently. She dropped through Create. No, she dropped through WorldStar. Then she dropped through Create. She was an independent artist who caught fire. She signed a bigger deal, multi-million-dollar deal through a label that also houses Trippie Red, that also houses Takashi 69, and was owned or is owned by the son of the biggest and most powerful person in the game named Lucian Grainge. Some of these names might go over your head if you're not keeping up with the music business, but I'm giving you a music business game now. Cool, doing great. She was doing amazing about a year ago, and even afterwards with the one single per month method. Everything is going crazy. They're getting on the right features, blah, blah. Now, some of the things by her own doing hasn't helped her. Falling out with Nikki. A few other things that I won't mention. Her best friend keep exposing her. Well, but still is Ice Spice. Very pretty girl. They're marketing her of sexuality. That's working. And even though she's not the best songwriter and the songs aren't the most prolific, they are working for the short period of time. And her songs had a burnout period of about 2 to 3 months. So as long as she kept replenishing, her buzz seemed like it was continuing to grow. Okay. Also, she fits the bill. Pretty, young, attractive, doesn't say much. We don't know her opinions about nothing. We don't even like what she likes for breakfast. All we know is this is a girl who's sexualized, who, yeah, cool. What happened though, and this is a little bit of music game right here. Um, so the label she was signed to is 10K Projects. 10K Project. By the way, I'm saying this, and if you don't know, I keep telling you, I have a label deal over there. Okay. So I got labeled. This is Takashi's label and Trippie Red's label. 10K Projects in September. 10K Projects leaves Capital. They had a JV distribution deal through Capital. Okay, I think before it was called Caroline, then it was called Island something, and they left that deal, and then they went through Warner Music Group. Now, I'm giving you a real crash course, and you need to keep up. As I said, I'll give more explanation probably another time, but it would take me so long to just explain how the music industry works. Cool. Here's a few things you need to know, and I am giving you a little bit of a tutorial too. So the guy who runs the music industry, the biggest boss, the real biggest boss, his name is Lucian Grainge. That's him right there. Okay, this is the guy who they say Drake empowers Drake. Um, this is the guy who controls UMG, which has about a 40% market share on all music, right? So they're the big dog. He has a son. His son is Elliot Grainge. This is his son. Congratulations to him. It's my boy, by the way. Me and him, we've kicked it many times, reasoned many times. Um, he has a beautiful wife, by the way, which is Sophia Richie, which is now, I believe, Sophia Grainge. Congratulations to them. They're beautiful together. All right. Elliot, you're my guy, always. Now, here's the funny thing, and listen to the story. As much as we've made it a big thing, right? We made it a big thing in sports. Yo, LeBron got his son on the Lakers. What most people have pointed out is that nepotism actually goes a long way and is usually the core and center of the majority of businesses that's ran in every industry. Love my guy Elliot. Elliot was in the UK. His father is running the biggest company in music in the United States. He brings his son over here. But now, remember, you're the top dog, the CEO of Universal Music Group. Your son is a unproven, unknown person in the music industry. How do you get your son to become your successor? Remember, nepotism works everywhere else except where LeBron does it. Well, the first way you do it, you get him to remember there's dozens of people in line that is quote unquote qualified to be the next up if you retire. But do you want to give the reins to anybody other than your son? Nepotism. Cool. By the way, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Elliot goes on a proving ground. Here's the proving ground. All right, son. If you don't know, the music business is a revolving musical chairs. It's a web. When one person gets fired from Def Jam, they go over to Epic. He gets fired from Epic, it goes to Columbia. He gets fired from Columbia, they get an upgrade and they go to motherfucking Republic. It's same faces, and they all wait till people retire. And when somebody retires, you now become the guy, and that's your reign. New people aren't really welcomed. When you see people like Birdman, he was never loved at Republic or Universal. They did business with him, but he didn't play their game, so they definitely didn't play his game. He's not one of the people who they would have said, okay, all right, how about you have somebody else run Cash Money and you go get this job? Birdman wouldn't even do it anyway because he's a boss. That's where there's another part of the story. It's actually, this is the story of the music business that you should know if you care about music. That's where we could get into P, Coach K, because the people who are making a lot of the revenue for Universal, they're gonna matter. So Drake could talk to the big wig. P could talk to the big wig. QC's huge. Okay, let's get back on track. So your son comes over, and your son has to prove himself. How does he prove himself? He starts what's called, at first it was called, I can't remember what it was called, but he was sued by Tech Nine. Yeah, it was called Strange Entertainment. Strange. Tech Nine sued him, saying that's too close to. I have a company that's pretty much the same, and yeah, you're infringing on it. So they've had a lawsuit. They settled the lawsuit, and Elliot Grainge renamed his label to what was called 10K Projects. So 10K Projects is born. If you go to 10K Projects, and again, I'm being very open and honest here. I have a JV with them. I have a deal. I don't really sign people or do that stuff as much anymore. But you'll notice the people who are signed here. You're gonna see Ice Spice, as I said before. When it first started, what gave that record label credit, because they had a distribution deal through Capitol, it was an indie label. The people who made that label were two people, Trippie Redd, and I don't even think they have him listed on here, just because Universal stopped fucking with him. 6ix9ine. We all know they were signed to the same label. So Tekashi 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd, who back in 2017 were the hottest. Well, 6ix9ine was the hottest, and Trippie was going crazy. They gave the son of Lucian the validity of, oh, maybe it does run in the family, that ear, that business savvy, that thing to run a record label. You have two of the biggest artists. Remember, this is all about the youth at this point. And you got Trippie and 6ix9ine on the same label. Later comes Internet Money. And remember, Internet Money was spitting out a whole bunch of people. Now, a lot of these other people came afterwards. Cool. Now, I'm going to tell you why the Ice Spice thing matters. So the Ice Spice came about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever the case is. And going back to this detail here is that over time and last year, 10K leaves from doing business with a subsidiary of Universal Music Group. Remember, his father runs Universal Music Group. The subsidiary is Capital. The other subsidiary of Capital is Caroline, which then becomes named um, Island. He leaves them. He actually goes, and this is also a very common misconception about the music industry. Labels aren't ops. Only rappers are ops. Niggas fight over niggas. Two niggas in the same city that street niggas, Dolphin Gotti, they can't get along. Universal Music Group that controls about 40% of the market share, and Warner Music is about like 26, 27. They're cool. I think I've told you guys the story before. The reason why Lil Pump went back to Warner after he said it was a free agent, he fucked over Warner. The people at Warner told the other labels, he fucked us over. Do not do business with him. He had no other choice. He had to go back. They're not ops. They do business together. Okay? Cool. This is a beautiful story for anybody who likes the music industry. I'm telling you. Just you might not understand now, but this is going to be a VOD, so you'll be able to play it later. Okay. So now, last year, they signed to Warner Music. Remember, my boy Elliot, he's still on the proven ground. I believe that eventually he will be the president that takes over from his father. But he has to leapfrog a whole lot of people who've been waiting. Like, I'm waiting my turn. Good luck. So now, the son of Lucian Grainge goes to a competitor. Remember, not ops. This is not rappers. Goes to a competitor, Warner Music, and he takes his label that at the time had 6ix9ine, this and third, but he's taken Ice Spice. So he takes Ice Spice from Universal. Ice Spice is now at Warner. He does this deal last year. Interesting. By the way, there's a lot more other things you could add to it. They also mesh with some other groups, homemade projects. They also start doing some stuff in the pop world and rock world. So like they're having some success. It's not all about just rap shit. It's a label, but I'm trying to keep it on some shit we could relate to. So the son of the most powerful guy in music is basically working with the competitor. But here's what I'm talking about with, we'll call it nepotism. I'm not saying it's bad. He's still on the proven ground. So what ends up happening? Now, let me tell you, let me remind you of a story I've told you before. Warner Music Group. Let's Google that and see what's up with that. Warner Music Group. Told you about this label a bunch. When I told you about it, they always give me calls like, how do you know? I don't think I'm in the music industry, even though every one of these labels got to pay me. This is how you get paid, Chatty. You don't get paid by just running your mouth. You get paid by being smart. Anyway, let's just look at the labels on the Warner Music Group. Okay. The list of their labels, you're going to see instantly one that we talk about a lot. Flagship, Atlantic. Now, let me tell you what the word is in the music industry. Elliot cannot take over for his father until he shows that he could run a flagship label. Now, while his label was still at Universal, the thought was he needed to do this thing to leapfrog all them other niggas to become, okay, it's good for you to get the job after your dad. Because remember, he's a young guy. Let me see, how old is he? Elliot Grainge. Bro, he just turned 30. Like, you know, there's niggas in this shit like 55. Like, he's literally been in the music industry for less than 10 years. You don't get to run this whole, so he's on a proving ground, right? Okay. So now, this was the conversation. They said, well, Elliot needs to go get a job at a flagship label. Let's look at Universal Music Group labels. Let's look at their flagship labels first. Their flagship labels, you will see, is Capital. He wasn't going to get the Capital thing because he already had a situation there. But Def Jam has been in shambles. So there was conversation about who will save Def Jam. Def Jam hasn't been Def Jam for a long time. Def Jam currently only cares about the catalog. Remember, good music is out of there. There's so much things that's been fractured. Shit, I think YK Osiris is on Def Jam or something like. Did they even stop really being involved in like the newer artists? So it's a flagship label. It's been like, who's gonna save Def Jam? That's when his name first started coming up. Well, he might be the guy. He could. That's a proven ground job. If he could save Def Jam, shit. If it comes to the time and he needs to take the main job, well, you save Def Jam. Whoever saves Def Jam is gonna get. Which, by the way, who's the president of Def Jam right now? Who's the president? Let me look up the current president. President of Def Jam. Yeah, they gave it to Tunji. Okay, Tunji has a very good reputation. Let's see, what's his background again? By the way, they gave it to a black guy. I'm rooting for him too. I'm rooting for him. But Tunji, that's his undertaking to complete. Could he save Def Jam? If he does this, he's gonna be set. Anyway, so they announced this back in 2021. So it wasn't gonna save Def Jam. So now the next thing became, let's go back to Warner. Atlantic. What have I told you about Atlantic? They dropped Meek. They declined to offer the right amount to keep NBA Youngboy, to keep Kodak Black. They're getting rid of all their talent. Why did that happen? I told you the whole situation. Warner Music Group went public. If you look on the stock market, when did Warner Music Group go public? We could Google everything I'm saying. In 2020. So anything after 2020, that's when they went cold on all these artists. That's when Meek dropped that last album and they were like, yo, we're done with this nigga. I think it was like Wins and Losses or some dumb shit like that. But they were done with all these artists. When they went public, they started looking at balance sheets. They didn't want to invest as much. They want to just capitalize. So Warner and subsequently Atlantic, because when we see Warner, we don't really know about the other Warner labels. We know about Atlantic because there's a lot of hip hop artists. We start looking at Atlantic, get rid of everybody. Everybody's going. They're allowing people to take their artists. Okay. Now, from what I heard, is that needed to happen for about 3 quarters. No, not 3 quarters, about 3 years. About like, actually, from what I heard, it was like between 5 to, I can't remember how many successive quarters, but it was like a couple of years in a row. They said if Atlantic was turning a profit, I don't know if it was yearly or quarterly, for investors. This was part of their like deal when they went public. They gave to the executives. They promised the executives, I heard, up to like damn near $100 million in bonuses. So that's why you're seeing your favorite rappers leave, because they're like, we got your catalog. We're not going to keep investing. We're just trying to stay profitable. So no more investments. Let's just make money off what we got. Why? The executives were going to get their pockets lined by the company, the overall company going public, by them keep bringing a profit in. Get what I'm saying? It's all about business, not about rapping. Bet. So Atlantic went to trash. Okay. So where are we now? Last year, Elliot goes there because clearly he must have known, all right, they're about to start spending again. So they go there. By the way, also, Warner, 300 Entertainment. 300 Entertainment, they also buy 300 Entertainment. Okay? They purchased 300 Entertainment. That becomes interesting. Let me see. QC. I know QC got sold to, but I don't think we don't know. Anyway, cool. Now, I guess I'm saying this, and I made a long story long, because it is a long story. There's no way to shorten it. You're going to see Atlantic come back. But you're going to see come back with my boy, Elliot Grainge, who just who just got promoted. Hold on. What the fuck? Why is the options only to remove? Oh, pause. My bad. Who just became. Here we go. Warner Music has some new changes. Effective October 1st, Elliot Grainge will become CEO of Atlantic. Reporting to Grainge.